guys, here today to bring you my second Clash Royale video. Today I'm going to try and focus on giving you guys tips and maybe advice that you don't know about to try and help you understand the game better. So I have 8 tips I've kind of thought up, either from watching other YouTubers play or playing myself, that I think will help you guys out. So this video is geared more towards beginners and people that, maybe not be that comfortable with the game yet and its mechanics, and hopefully there'll be something in this for you that maybe you take away from it and helps you get better at Clash Royale. So enjoy these 8 tips. Alright, the first tip I'm going to talk about is kind of a really basic one, and I'm pretty sure most of you probably thought of this on your own, but my first tip and my first advice to you is you have to play a lot. In order to become better at something, it's like the adage says, practice makes perfect. So I know personally that as soon as I actually started playing more, I got a lot better. Just watching other players and seeing what they do, and maybe even how they beat you, can help you get better. Especially in the early game, you don't lose a lot of trophies if you lose, and it's not about the trophies. Okay, so early game, play, have fun. It's not about the trophies. It's all about just learning, getting better, figuring out what cards do. And talking about cards, that's going to lead us on to tip number 2. You have to learn your cards. So every card in this game has a specific strength and kind of weakness, and kind of an idea of when and where you should use it. So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to click on the arena, so I'll show you all the cards. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to scroll up to training camp. I'm going to go through the first 12 cards, just so you kind of have a sense of what they're good against. You can read the cards for your descriptions, but basically what I'm going to try and do is just kind of help you as to what cards this certain card is good against. So I'll start off with arrows. It's a spell, so it does 115 area damage and 46 Crayon Tower damage. So basically what that means is any unit it hits, it'll do 115 damage to, but it only does 46 damage to the Crayon Tower. Okay? So when you're trying to finish off a tower or something like that, you have to make sure they have the right amount of damage. So what arrows will be good against are things like Minion Horde, Minions, Scaly Army, stuff that's really weak and there's a large number of. Okay, so that's what you should really look to use arrows as. Next up is Bomber. So Bomber is what we call a splash unit. So it'll do a lot of damage to groups of weaker enemies, such as Skeleton Army. It only hits ground, so its real use is only really against Skeleton Army and Witch, because Witch also spawns skeletons, which we'll talk about later. It also doesn't have a lot of hit points, so that means you want to put it behind something called a tank, which is a knight or a giant, which is basically something that has a large amount of hit points that can soak up the damage, while the smaller, more frail units like the Bomber and other ones we'll see later do all the damage. Another one of the units you want to put behind a tank is the archers, which are seen here. So 2 archers spawn for every card. They shoot air and they shoot ground, and they're kind of the Swiss Army knife card. I still use these on my legendary account. They're the only thing from training camp I still use. They're just a really good overall card. They can do really good chip damage, and they can also defend really well against a lot of enemies like Minions or air. Really good against air, because sometimes you don't pack a lot of air defense, so these things can really come in handy. Next up is our first tank. This is a knight, so basically the purpose of him is you put him down, he soaks up all the damage, while something else, one other card, will do all the damage to the other cards. So he's not that fast. He targets any unit he sees compared to the giant, which we'll see later. So that's what you kind of want to use him for. You want to drop him down. You want to see if you can get a Bomber or archers or other cards behind him and just see if he can soak up the damage while the cards behind do the rest of the work. Next up we have another spell. It's a fireball. It's basically a stronger, kind of smaller area arrow. So arrows will do a wider amount of damage, like a wider area of damage, but less damage overall. Do a more concentrated area of stronger damage. Okay? So, as you can see here, there's 325 area damage and 130 Crayon Tower damage. So, area damage is almost triple arrows, and then Crayon Tower damage is over double. Okay? So, that's what you kind of want to look to use Fireball for. You can use it against anything, kind of positive elixir trades, which we'll talk a little bit about later, but that's kind of what you're going to look to use this for. Next, we have a P.E.K.K.A. It's not really tank, but it's still a stronger unit. This card is really good against tanks because of the damage that it does. So as you can see there, it does over 325 damage. It doesn't attack that quickly, but it packs a punch when it does attack. So these are really good for slowing down things like witches, if you can drop it without the skeletons, giants and knights. But again, because of its slow attack speed, the P.E.K.K.A. or the mini P.E.K.K.A. is often usually easily distracted. So things like skeletons will make it take forever to attack the thing you're actually trying to attack. So you have to be careful about that. Next up is a Musketeer. So this 4 elixir card is again something you want to drop behind a tank. It does pretty good damage per second, shoots air and ground, packs more of a punch than the archers, and I think it has a longer range. Let's see here. It does. It has 1 tile more. So it's really good to put behind tanks. It also defends well, really good against air, so look to use it against almost pretty much anything. But the main thing is you can't let things attack it or it'll die pretty quick. Next up is one of the best tanks in the game. It's a giant. So as you can see, the hit points on this one are insane. It's over 3 times the knight's 1900 hit points. It also is a lot 2 more elixir than a knight, which doesn't seem like a lot, but it can be. So, and another thing you'll notice on this one is it only targets buildings, whereas a knight will target any unit it sees. This giant will ignore any other unit it sees and just walk right to the tower or a building, such as like a tombstone, a bomb tower, stuff like that. Okay, so this is really good for tanking and starting pushes. You can drop this back, drop a bunch of stuff behind it, and it'll shoot the things that attack the giant. You can also use this, as I said before, to defend. So if somebody else has a really big push coming and you don't have any good card to stop that push, you can drop the giant and then it'll soak up all the damage while your tower and maybe another card deals out damage to the units that are currently attacking you. Next up is a Prince. So this is our first epic card we'll look at. So this thing only attacks ground and it attacks units. So basically what this thing is it's a guy on a horse and he runs really fast sometimes, and when he's running really fast he does a lot more damage because of his charge effect. But kind of like the mini P.E.K.K.A, he will get easily distracted. So if you drop anything, he's going to try and recharge towards that, and then after he hits something, his charge will reset. Okay, so as you can see here, his normal damage is 245, but when he gets charging, when he runs really quick, he does almost 500 damage. So he's going to be really good to kind of push, and then if you have support units behind him that can clear the stuff out of his way, he'll do really good damage to the tower. Next up is a Baby Dragon. So this is a flying unit. It's kind of a flying tank. I kind of consider that. It can tank. It's not the best tank. It also does splash damage like the bomber, so it's also good against skeleton army, minion horde, and minions. Really good weak stuff like that. So again, you can drop this as either a tank itself or behind a tank, and it works great. It's kind of versatile. I kind of like it. I used to play with it a lot, not as much now, but yeah, that's what you can look to use the Baby Dragon for. Next up is the skeleton army. So basically what this does, this spawns around 16 individual little skeletons. They take only 1 second to deploy, but what you're really going to want to use this for is stopping things like the giant or the prince. Things that are easily distracted or things that are really large, so you can swarm around them and get a lot of damage. So each skeleton will do like its own little damage thing. So if you have like 10 skeletons around a giant, that damage is going to add up really quickly. It also slows down a mini P.E.K.K.A really well. But that being said, these cards are really weak to cards like the bomber, the baby dragon, the arrows, which is why you never really want to play these to take out a tower. You never really, unless somebody really screws up, you're never really going to be able to play a skeleton army and try and take out somebody's tower. So these are more of a defensive card to stop really large units like that do a lot of damage, like the mini P.E.K.K.A, the giant, or the prince. Last but not least, I know a guy that absolutely loves this card. This is the witch. So basically, this card will do damage by itself, and it'll also spawn little skeletons that will also damage things. So the witch has a splash damage. It targets air and ground. So again, good against skeleton army, good against minions, good against minion horde. And then the skeletons that it spawns will distract things like the mini P.E.K.K.A and the prince. So it's really good to put behind tanks. So a witch and a tank will do a lot of damage, surprising amount of damage, and it can be used to start pushes. Drop it behind your tower, it'll take out a lot of things with its skeletons and with its splash damage. So it's a pretty good versatile card. It's weak to the fireball. The fireball won't kill it, but it'll knock it down pretty low. So you have to kind of watch for that. And the card that you'll see a lot later is a Valkyrie, and that'll do a lot of damage to it too. And against the bomber will get some good shots off, but usually a witch will take it out. But you want to try and avoid bombers if you can. So that was the first 12 cards that you kind of need to know about. But again, the best way to kind of understand the cards and see how they work is to play, which I'll do a little bit later. But if you experiment with them a little bit and you see what works for you and how the cards maybe you can put together in a certain fashion, that's going to be better for you than me just explaining how to use them, because, you know, the best way to learn is to do something and just practice it and see how it goes. Tip 3 involves a personal pet peeve of mine and of a lot of people who try and teach new Clash Royale players how to play. So what I'm talking about is how to use direct damage. So the first thing you need to know is what is direct damage. So direct damage, and this early in the game, is a spell that will directly damage another person's tower. So it's something that another person can't stop from happening, such as a lightning. He can cast that anywhere in the map, or an arrow, or a fireball. So mainly what you see often in lower levels is players that just throw the fireball on a tower or the arrows for no reason, otherwise just to do damage. I'm going to tell you right now that is not smart. Please don't do that. If someone's teaching you, please don't do that. You'll make them so angry. But right now, I'm going to show you the proper ways and proper times to actually use direct damage. So I haven't played in the arena yet. I'm at 0 trophies. I'm going to go in now. This is my deck, so you can see I have both the arrows and the fireball. So we can try, and so I can try and show you when I and higher level players will use these cards if they have them in their deck. Okay, so we're going to look for a match right now. This is the first time I played in here. I have accidentally clicked the button multiple times, but I just exited the game because, I want to be there with you guys when I have my first game and hopefully win that I actually try in. So we're still looking. This is taking a surprisingly long time. I'm going to cancel. I'm going to battle again. There we go. That's better. So here we go. We're playing Lilji Kant Oja. Okay, 0 trophies like me. So he's going to play a baby dragon. We're going to ignore that. So before, what I said was good against that. So we'll play a musketeer. It's good against air. Now, see this musketeer? I'm going to fireball that. Why am I going to fireball that? Because that's not a bad elixir trade. So I'm spending 4 elixir to counter his 5 elixir card, and I'm doing damage to his tower. That's what you want to do. You never want to throw it just on absolutely nothing. You always want to see if you can hit certain units with it. I think this guy's played before. He knows how to use a tank. So I'm going to drop my archers. They're level 4 because I've been collecting my free chests. I'm going to go ahead and drop my tank in there, which is my knight. So he's going to suck up all the damage while my archers do all the work. And then I'll drop another bomber just for good measure. There they go, running towards the tower. We're going to see if we can get some good chip. He drops his dragon, which is a pretty good counter. Not a lot of my things can shoot air. So just my archers, which is going to take out. He arrows, not the best use. I'm going to play a defensive giant. So now you see the giant's not attacking my tower. It's attacking, or the dragon's not attacking my tower. It's attacking the giant. So he's going to march on over there. Going to wait. He's going to drop another musketeer. I'm going to fireball. If my fireball will go over here. Drop that. So now I'm doing tower damage, and I'm hitting the knight, and I'm hitting the musketeer. That is a great value fireball. That's what you want to look for. You never want to just randomly shoot the fireball onto the tower. So his knight and bomber can't hit air. I'm going to drop my baby dragon. I'll drop... I might wait a little bit. I'm going to wait. I'm going to see what happens here. I'm going to put my knight all the way back here so I can start to push on the other side because my baby dragon's going to take out that tower. He's going to move on. Great. If he can take out that archer, that's wonderful. Great. My knight is now tanking. He just wastes his arrows again. That's alright. I'll drop my giant. So after you take one on another person's tower, you can drop your other cards on their side of the map. So now everything's focused on my giant. I can fireball and hit both of his towers and the musketeer. That is another good value fireball. He has to drop a baby dragon. I'm going to drop my baby dragon. I'm going to drop my bomber just to kind of stack things. My baby dragon's going to tank. It's not the best, so it's also not the worst. Going to see how much chip damage we can get. I apologize to anybody I played in here. It's not really fair when I've been playing for a lot longer. So now he has a lot of stuff there. My arrows aren't really going to do anything. If I can get a fireball, that'd be great. I'm going to drop my giant. And now I'm going to fireball, see if I can take out all these units. And he drops a dragon. That was another good fireball. My archers are going to try and take out that. I'm going to drop this to deal with the musketeer and the other stuff in there. I am going to try and 3-crown him. He arrows. That's not the worst thing. Could have been better. Could have been worse. Take out all that. My giant died. That's too bad. Drop my bomber. Drop another giant. I only have 11 seconds. Oh, he fireballs first time. I'm going to fireball just because I want to get the damage in. I don't think I'm going to be able to do it. Am I going to be able to do it? One more hit. And I got 3-crown. Okay, so in that game, I didn't really get to use my arrows, but you saw when I used my fireball, which is when he had stuff by his tower that was more expensive than my fireball, or even less expensive. Like if he would have dropped archers, I also could have fireballed that, and it would have been good value because I'm taking out his unit, which costs 3 elixir. My fireball costs 4, so for the cost of 1 elixir, I'm doing more damage to his tower, and I'm taking out a unit. We're going to talk about elixir trades a little bit later, but that was just kind of a demonstration of when we want to use direct damage, when we want to target other people's tower with our fireball, our arrows, or our lightning. Another time we want to do that is if the tower is super low, like it's below, 50 or something we can take out with an arrow or a fireball. Remember that they do less damage to crown towers. And it's close to the end of the game. That's also when we want to try and use our arrows or fireball on a tower. That's like literally one of the only times it's acceptable just to fireball or arrow a tower by itself, is when it's really low in health and you need the crayon to be able to tie or win the game. On to tip number 4. It's kind of a higher level thing, but it's not really. Something you just kind of have to get in the habit of doing, and that is learning to fight on your side of the map. So what that means is just because somebody else drops a card kind of behind or in their side of the map, that doesn't mean you need to put a card down right down at the bridge and you need to kill it right away. It's alright and kind of preferred to let that unit come across the bridge and over to your side of the map so you can shoot it or defend it with the help of your tower. So we're going to jump into a battle now, and I'm going to show you what I mean. Alright, good luck, Zach. So we're going to see, hopefully he plays something right. He does. So now what I'm going to do is I'm going to drop my baby dragon back here, because then it's going to attack with the help of the tower. So now we're fighting the battle on my side of the map, and because of that, hopefully I'll be able to start a push. His archers are going to do a little bit of work, but that's okay. So preferably, hopefully my unit would have stayed alive and it would have walked across, and I would have been able to back it up. He's going to drop another giant. I'm going to drop another thing on here. Again, we're going to fight on my side of the bridge. I'm going to drop a knight to do a little bit more damage because I don't want to really let that thing get too close. Drop a bomber, do some more. Again, fighting on my side of the map. I didn't rush out to meet his knight. There we go. That's going to do a little bit more damage. I'm going to drop a giant. We're going to try and push. So here we go. What does he have for this? I'm going to need my fireball ready. Hopefully something I can fireball, because this is a pretty strong push. No, nothing's coming here. Oh, that's one tower gone. All right, I'll drop my baby dragon. Hopefully, I think he gave up. I think he gave up. My apologies, Zach. So yeah, oh my bad. But yeah, so as you can see early when he actually was dropping cards, I was waiting. I played them on my side of the map, and again, if I let them fight on my side, I get the help of my tower, and then he has to come to me, and I can start a push. So it's really, we want to always try and fight on our side of the map. Hopefully it goes that well for you, but sometimes it won't, but it's the best way to do things. So the next thing I'm going to talk about relates to my last tip of fighting on your side of the map. So this is an area on the map on your side that's called the kill zone. So the kill zone in Clash Royale is the spot right in the middle, in between your two crown towers, that both your crown towers can shoot at. And why it's called the kill zone is because things die the east in here. The thinking is, if you have two towers shooting and then that unit attacking, you can do more damage. And by the time that unit walks over to the unit that you put in the kill zone, it's also going to take more damage. So I'm going to play again. I'm going to try and see if I can demonstrate this. It's difficult with giants because I don't have any buildings to pull it over with. But if you had any buildings, you want to place it right in the middle. So I'm going to show you. It's right around there. That's the kill zone. So you're going to drop a baby pack. I should probably deal with that. See if you can come on over to the kill zone. There we go. It's not the most effective counter because he one-shots bombers, but that's kind of the kill zone. So anywhere in this area here where they have to come all the way over, that's where you want to put it. Right now, that's not good because that's a ranged unit. So it's really only with melee units. But again, defensive giant works. I'm going to drop my baby dragon. Again, fighting on my side of the map there. We're going to do a little bit of damage. That knight's going to be annoying. But I'm going to wait for it to come over. There's no point in me dropping something else. I don't really have a large push here. My baby dragon might take him out. He's going to. And he's going to get some tower damage, which is great. We need to make up for what that P.E.K.K.A. did. I'm wasting elixir. You don't really want to do that. I'll drop my musketeer in the kill zone. So if he drops that P.E.K.K.A. again, it has to come over. I'm going to drop some archers too. If he has a fireball, arrows. Arrows not great. Not going to take it out. And he didn't hit my tower. So again, careful with your direct damage. I have my fireball ready if he drops anything. I think he's going to drop a P.E.K.K.A. There it is. Psychic. And now I still have a nice push. Is he going to drop anything else? My knight's tanking nicely. And again, all that started because I waited on my side of the map to drop something. And that's how I took his tower. He's going to fireball. Alright. Could have done that a little earlier. It would have been better. Drop my giant in the back here. So why I want to drop that in the back is so that it takes longer to get to the bridge, and that means I get more elixir. So if I get more elixir, because it takes longer to get to the bridge, that means I can place more cards behind it, and I can get a much stronger push than if I place the giant at the bridge and it goes right away. So now I have time to drop a musketeer. He's going to arrow, not great. Arrow's not good against giant or tanky things. I have a really good push going on here. See what happens. I drop a P.E.K.K.A if I were him. Let's see if I'm right. Or maybe he's giving up. I hope not. I'm going to drop my bomber. He drops his musketeer. I'm going to drop another tank over here. There's his P.E.K.K.A. I'll drop another tank there. So we have pretty much have him on the ropes. Again, knowing how to play. And all this, the difference is, I know how to play, and it's the little things. So me dropping my units on that side of the tower, not direct damaging like that, because that doesn't take out my giant. So little things like knowing when to play your fireball, when to drop cards on your side of the map, that's allowing me to win more easily over people that are down here. That really helps me out. Oh, a gold chest. Nice. So again, part of my fourth tip of fighting on your side of the map is trying to put things in the kill zone and bring things over. When you unlock more buildings, it'll become a lot more clear. Hopefully I can get a building somewhere in here. Hopefully a tombstone or something so I can show you how great that is just to pull the unit over and then have it shoot both king towers and have both towers shoot at it, and it really helps out. On to tip number 5, and tip number 5 is how to spend elixir. So the analogy I use for this is it's kind of like you're filling up a cup in a sink. So you don't want to let the cup overflow, so you don't want to let your elixir build past 10, because then you're just wasting water, and that's not good for the environment, it's not good for anybody. And at the same time, you're not going to drink as soon as you get a drop in the bottom. So spending your elixir when it's really low doesn't really make a lot of sense, because then you have to stop, fill it back up again, and then, if something's on fire, then you can't put it out. So I'll show you what I mean by that. That last example may not be great, but I'm going to battle again. I'm going to show you what I mean. Okay? So it's all right to let your elixir build up. Okay? It's not a big deal. You have 7 elixir. I seem to lag a little bit. I'm going to wait. I'm going to drop it. Okay? I still have 6 elixir. I don't need to panic. Don't panic. I'm going to drop my knight. Still have elixir building. He drops his witch. I'm going to drop my bomber to counter the witch. Still have elixir. I'm not spending all my elixir as soon as I get it. Because then, if you spend all your elixir when you get it, you can't react. So if he would have placed that in the other lane, but I already dropped my elixir all over here, instead of over there where he placed his unit, I would have been in deep trouble. So you have to be patient. Right now I have a lot of elixir. I'm going to play a card. I don't want to let the cup overflow. I want to make sure that the water's still going good. My dragon's going to get in there. He's going to do some good damage. There we go. I took out a tower. Patient. My elixir's at 10 again. I'm going to drop another card. I'm going to go right for the 3 crown. Drop my giant in the back. Again, it's alright to drop things in the back, because by the time he gets to the bridge up here, I'm going to have a lot more elixir than I did before. Okay? So again, fireballs, that's okay, I'm going to wait. My elixir's almost full, I'll drop my musketeer. Great. Elixir's still flowing, still running really good with elixir, he's going to arrow. Again, we talked about direct damage, he didn't hit anything, he hit my, it's not a minion, that's a musketeer. He hit my musketeer, but again, didn't kill it, so it doesn't really make a lot of sense to do. He drops a bomber, that's a good play. I'll drop my knight, and then I'll raise him a bomber. There we go, great. Still doing good, don't need to spend the rest of that elixir in case he tries to push my other lane. So there we go, he's pushing, there's a knight, I have a nice push again. I'm going to wait. Alright, I think I might be able to take it on this push. I'll drop a giant or a baby dragon, and there we go. I didn't rush with my elixir, I wasn't in a rush. I saw that he played a card, and it's okay, it happens. Defend, keep a clear head, there's no rush to spend your elixir. If it builds up, that means you have more flexibility to either attack, defend, counter, or start a push. Alright, before I get into tip 6, let me open up my Crayon Chest here. This might take me to level 3. I don't remember if you get experience for Crayon Chests. Let's find out. So Crayon Chests are basically things you get after you get 10 crayons. So crayons are basically towers. You get 1 every 24 hours, and you can keep up to 2. So if you miss a Crayon Chest, 1 will save. So I should have another one after this. Nice, some Spear Goblins. Mini P.E.K.K.A. Might have to throw that in. Fireball, it's useful. I'll upgrade that. Goblins, not really using those. Great, and you don't get experience for that. But what I will get experience for is upgrading my Fireball. So there you go. This should take me to level 3, and that's kind of important for my last tip. It's going to help me out a little bit. Alright, so, let's upgrade, $50. Fireball, great. Let's see how much our damage goes up. 32, not bad. Crown Tower damage, 13. That could make a difference. Alright, and now as you see the experience go up, I'm at level 3. So, clans unlocked. It's going to be important later. And I have my King Tower upgraded and my Arena Tower. Okay, great. Now, tip 6. So, tip number 6 for me is something we call elixir trades. So, I'm assuming you've probably watched other YouTube channels before you found me. If you ever found me. But basically, Orange Juice Gaming, which does a lot of the mechanics of Clash Royale, he talks a lot about positive elixir trades. And that's what we're going to dive into now. So basically, a positive elixir trade is basically when you spend less elixir to defend a push than the person did to start it. So if someone played archers, a bomber at the same time, and I took it out with Fireball, he spent 6 elixir, and I only spent 4, and I stopped his push. That's a positive elixir trade. That's 2 elixir I saved that I can now start a push with. So little trade-offs like that over the course of a game can make a difference about 20 to however many elixir, and that can help you play, I don't know, let's look, what costs 20 elixir here? I could play a knight a couple times, archers, bomber, dragon a couple more times. So basically, you being smarter with your elixir allows you to play your cards a lot better and gives you a real advantage if it builds up over a player. So right now, again, back into our arena. I can't get any chests. As you can see at the bottom, my chests are full, but that's okay. That happens. Normally, you guys, you won't really want to let that happen. I could spend gems to unlock it. I don't really want to. But I'm going to play anyways, just because, you know, I'm doing a video on tutorials and how to help. So, I mean, it's worth it. You guys are worth it. Alright. Playing, I don't know how to pronounce that, I'm not even going to pretend. So, alright, let's wait and see if he plays something first. If he doesn't, I'm going to start with a giant at the back. Alright, and he didn't play anything. My elixir built up, I dropped it. Great. No rush to spend my elixir. He also dropped a giant. Oh, and a P.E.K.K.A. I'm not going to arrow that, I'm not going to fireball that. That's not going to do any real damage. What I am going to do is, I'm going to drop some archers in the back. Kind of nervous about that mini P.E.K.K.A, so I'm going to drop my knight in the kill zone. Oh, he's got a witch too. Goodness. I'll drop my musketeer over here too to help him out. I might fireball that now. I'm going to fireball. It's a panic fireball, but I kind of need it. I missed the mini P.E.K.K.A, which is doing a crap ton of damage. Oh no. My giant over there is also doing pretty good work though. I'm going to arrow. It's going to take out the spear goblins and it's going to damage the tower. Maybe my giant gets an extra couple hits. That's a good investment. There we go. Great. So, because of that panic, I haven't really got to see if I've gotten any positive elixir trades. I'm not quite sure. Archers, put those in the middle. I'm also going to defend a knight. So right now I spent 6 to stop his push of 5, but he just added a mini P.E.K.K.A. This is a push of 9. So if I can stop this, it would be a good elixir trade. That P.E.K.K.A.'s not going to come over. And I stopped. That's a good elixir trade. So he spent 9 elixir on that push. I only spent I only spent 6. And now I get to push from that, took out the witch, that's really important. Had my fireball ready, just in case. If he drops a P.E.K.K.A, it's not worth it. Knight, not worth it. We'll let my archers chip at that. I also have his other tower down to 4, which makes that one pretty easy to take out. Now I can take it out with a fireball or arrows. Archers are going to get some chip damage. He's going to come with a Valkyrie unit we haven't seen yet. So that does a lot of damage, just splash things again, just spins her blade around, only attacks the ground. I should have dropped something in the kill zone, I didn't, but it's still going to take it out. One shot. Oh no, he took out my tower. That's okay. We don't need to panic. I'm going to drop a baby dragon, hopefully a tank. If we can get some damage on this tower, then we should be golden. Oh, he's going to let us damage it. That's not great. I let my elixir build up. Shouldn't have done that. There we go. Over there. I'm going to wait till he drops something else. I'm going to arrow. It's not the best way. Bring that mini P.E.K.K.A back over here. There he goes. Hopefully take that out. Uh-oh, got to drop a bomber. That's not great. Took out his tower over there. No, where are you guys going? No, I'm going to play a defensive giant. Oh, my lord. Because everybody else wanted to run away. 30 seconds. Let's just see if we can hold on right now. We're kind of scrambling. I don't have to fireball. I don't want to have to fireball. Please don't make me fireball. I'm going to arrow, though. That's a lot of squishy units. Arrow took out a lot of them. Oh, man. He's going to do work. I'm also doing work, though. I might take out his tower. Oh, lord. I can now cycle. So now what I'm going to do is I'm going to play a fireball. I'm going to try and get some chip damage. So now, this is kind of the situation I talked about at the end of the game when you just need a little bit of damage, and my archer took it out. So, as you can see, I plain fireballed that tower just because I needed to get the damage down a little bit, so I either could have cycled to my arrows if my archer didn't work, and then I could have got the 3 crown. Alright, almost done here. Moving on to tip 7. So basically tip 7 is just a bunch of tips, kind of general information that will make playing smoother, and you probably know some of them, but I know I've met some players who have no clue about a couple of them, or one of them in particular. So I thought I'd just pass them on. So again, I'm going to go into a battle here, and I'm just going to try and show you the tricks in action. So the first thing we're going to talk about is how to deploy cards. So as you may have noticed, I guess I'll say good luck, thumbs up. As you may notice, sometimes I tap and play, or that's really what I do most of the time. That's how I prefer to play. But also, you can also drag. So those are the two ways you can deploy cards. I personally like to tap. I just find it cleaner, and it just seems quicker if you have to respond or react to something you're not expecting. Ooh, that's a good fireball. Oh, no, it's not. I thought it was going to hit my musketeer. Another thing you can do that I'm going to demonstrate, it's going to suck, but I'm going to try, is you can multi-drop. So you see I have 2 cards there. If I would have had enough elixir, the other one would have dropped 2. So basically, Clash Royale supports multi-drop, so you can drop more than 1 card at a time for the really quick, specific timing deployments. Another thing, this is the one that a lot of people don't know about, is if I hold the card at the bottom here, the information for it will pop up. So right now, what this card is showing me is the health of the giant, that's a heart, and then the damage, which is the explosion sign. So right now I'm going to deploy it. Bomber, how much health do you have, Bomber? Oh, 177. How much damage do you? Oh, 154. Okay, good to know. And you can deploy them. So that's one trick I found a lot of people didn't know. That's really useful if it's at the end of the game and a tower has a certain amount of damage and you don't know if your arrows are going to take it out. So now you can just hold onto your arrows and just check it out, and you know. The more you know. As for that, the last thing, as you saw, he emoted me earlier. So if you don't want to deal with people like that, you can click the mute button. Now, if he was to say anything to me at all, I wouldn't see it, wouldn't know he was talking at all. And to undo that, just click the button again. I'm losing elixir. So those are kind of the tips I wanted to go over. How to drop your cards, the information tab, and just the mute button. A lot of people didn't know about the damage, but again, at the end of games, that can be so crucial. If there's a certain tower and it needs to go down by a certain amount, and you need to know whether you need to save the elixir for a fireball, an arrow, or just arrows, it's really important. Like now, I know, okay, that's not going to do enough, but wait, my fireball will do enough. So then instead of playing my arrows, and then be like, oh crap, I have to play something else, I can play my fireball, and I can get the 3 crown. So, good game. Well played. Finally, our last tip. This is one we're going to end the video on, and it's just a bunch of stuff, kind of like the last one, that's useful to know. So this doesn't require any gameplay. This is just progression information. So as you saw earlier in this video, I hit level 3. So that's important because this enables me to join a clan. I highly recommend you join a clan. It's so important. It's going to help you progress so much quicker, and you know, having clanmates, a friendly battle, and learn stuff from and talk to is really important. So right now, I guess I need to pick a clan. I don't know who I want to go in. So, do I want to go with someone with more trophies? Like, man, what was that high one? Oh, that's not the right screen. Well, for the purpose of this video, I guess I'll go on this one. I'll see if I can join. Great, I've joined. So now I'm in clan, team player, I get an achievement, and now the new thing is, I can request cards. So when you go to request cards, you'll see all your cards except for epics. I'll talk about that later. And you basically, what you can do for requesting is you can ask your teammates and your clanmates to give you cards. So right now, I think it'd be great if I could upgrade my bomber. I'll click on it. Info, I'll do request. So then my request shows up, and then they can give me cards. Whoever has extras can just hit the donate button, and then I get them. So right now, people can give me a maximum of 10 cards, and as my arena level goes up, so as I get more trophies, I can get more cards. So in Legendary, if I was in Legendary, I have the chance to get 40 cards, and etc. And if you're in a high arena, you can also donate more. There is a limit on how much you can donate. But every Sunday, a weird thing happens. It's actually pretty close. It's called Epic Sunday. So basically, every Epic Sunday, you can ask for epic cards. So those are the really rare cards. There's 3 classes of cards here, as you can see, by rarity. So we have our commons, those are the goblins, stuff like that, our rares, and our, I guess I'm using my epic, our epics. So basically they're exactly what the name sounds. Commons are the ones you're most likely to get out of a chest. Rares, you can pull the odd ones, and then epics, if you notice them, it's a somewhat big deal. And there is a fourth kind, legendaries. Those are super hard to get. There's legendary chests and stuff like that. There's a very small chance of you getting them out of free chests or anything like that. But yeah, legendaries are also another type. So the names are exactly as they sound. And then every Sunday you'll be able to request some epic cards. The next thing I want to talk about is these green things right up here. Gems. Gems can be used to buy gold chest tournaments and to speed chest unlock. If you're not going to put any money into Clash, which not a lot of people do, on a side note, you can see people gave me some bombers, then I suggest if you hold on to your gems and you wait for the 500, the bucket of gold, right there. That's going to be your best value. Just rather than buying a bunch of pouches of gold, the thinking is behind these games, you pay more, you get more value. But if you're free to play, I definitely wait for that. I mean, you can spend money. I have spent some money on my legendary account, but I would suggest not spending money at the start. These deals are fine. Again, the more you buy, the more money you spend, the better value you get. But as you go up, you'll get things called arena chests, and basically those are really good value. So they'll give you about 5 times value. They'll give you better chests, more money, and more gems. So at the start, I really suggest you don't buy any chests and put a lot of money into the game. I mean, if you want to progress quickly, that is something you can do. But other than that, I really suggest holding off. And the last thing I want to remind everybody is there is achievements in this game. This is our news section. This is not going to be my achievements. This will be the achievements, I think. Yeah, so basically, every time you get one, I suggest you get it. Gives you a lot of gems, stuff like that, again, which you can put towards either challenges, which is something you get when you get to level 8, and I'll talk about that later when I actually get this account to level 8, and just money and overall stuff like that. If you don't have enough money for a card, too, gems come in handy. I don't have enough money for lightning. If I click on that, like if I want to spend 37 gold, I can get a lightning. And I just got 100 gold. I'm going to do that. It's not a great deal, but lightning's a pretty useful card. So now I picked up an epic card. So yeah, there you go. So basically, the common card costs are also going to be $10. Musketeers are 20, and then your first epic, I bought one, is only 1,000. So that's changed from what they were before, which is a really good deal. So yeah, that's all I have for today. My clanmates really seem to like me. So yeah, I hope you enjoyed my tutorial video. I know there's a lot of information. If there's any comments or questions for all 5 people that see this, ask me in the comment section. I'll try and check it, and stay tuned for more videos if I ever decide to post them. Thank you for your time.